On a 32-degree cold night in the Pacific Northwest. It snowed earlier in the day. A packed house here at the Rose Garden for Game 2 of our doubleheader. The NBA on TNT is presented by the United States Marine Corps. It is the new look Phoenix Suns and the Portland Trail Blazers, with the Blazers looking to stop the 11-game losing streak at the hands of the Suns. The last time Portland beat Phoenix was back in March of 2006. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert. This is Reggie Miller. That's the Czar. Mike Fratello will be joined in a moment by Craig Sager. Both clubs ready to go. Let's check out the McDonald's starting lineup for the Suns, who have won their last 2, 4 of their last 5. It is game number 3 as a Sun for Jason Richardson. Shaq had that huge performance in his one previous meeting with the rookie Greg Oden. For the Blazers, who are 16-10, Brandon Roy has been on a tear as of late. It's Blake and Roy at the guards, Oden, Aldridge, and the rookie Nicholas Batum on the front line. The officials, Monty McCutchen, Tony Brown, and Gary Zielinski. Phoenix Suns now at 15-10. That's currently the number 7 team in the West. They've won their last 2 wins over the Magic and the Knicks. But Terry Porter says they have not quite turned the corner as of yet. Recently, they went through that stretch, losing 4 in a row, including games at New Orleans and Dallas. And Portland controls the opening tip. This is Roy being played by Richardson. Here's Batum. And Marcus Aldridge over Amari Stoudemire.
And that's what Aldridge can do. He's going to stretch the floor for your team. Trying to be a little bit more effective down low. You get that 15, 17-foot mid-range shot, can knock it down.
People try to pass him off as a back-to-the-basket player. That's not what he is. He's a jump shooter first.
Shaq with 19 points, 17 rebounds in that first meeting against Oden. Stoudemire rejected by Oden, kept alive by Richardson. Played on a switch. Once again, they go inside to O'Neal. Spins his way out Oden. It counts, and the foul. A strong move by Shaquille O'Neal.
Well, when we had to talk to head coach Terry Porter before the game, and he talked about, is there any incentive for Shaquille O'Neal when he goes against rookie Greg Oden? You see the block shot there by Oden. Here, this is Shaq being Shaq, using that body and size against Greg Oden. And Terry Porter says, yeah, you know, I remember going against Magic Johnson when I was a young guy, and these veterans love to kind of put it on the young guys, almost like, welcome to the league, young fella.
Well, if the rest of the Blazers are going to try to help and double, they've got to come sooner. First dribble, if you're going to come, you got to come, because on the second one, Shaq had Oden under the rim by then.
Here's Blake setting it up for Oden. Nicely done by Steve Blake. Shaq tried to help out, and Oden wide open. And they're looking to set up Shaq here at the start. You saw that head fake. You also saw the traveling violation.
And if you watched Oden come down the floor defensively, all the things that the coaching staff may have worked with him on at the defensive end, he met Shaq early with his body. He got his base real low. He got his right leg in between, split Shaq in the middle from behind, and tried to root him out from that low post area.
And Portland head coach Nate McMillan telling us as Oden is set up once again. They try to take some of the pressure off the rookie. He said he's not concerned about Oden scoring. He wants him to concentrate on rebounding, setting screens, the defensive end. But 2 early field goals here by Oden. We saw the stuff by O'Neal over Oden. Richardson for 3.
And that's the element that he brings to the Suns. He's really going to stretch the floor and give opportunities for the outside shooting.
Oh, Roy is tripped up, foul called on Richardson. Getting back to the Phoenix Suns, can it work with this group? As you see the setup for Oden, it's a combination of guys who want to run, plus Shaquille O'Neal.
You know what I think the hardest thing is to get all of them on the same page. Can it work? Yes, but it's got to be their style. Whatever that might be, they decide on. And you see a little jump hook. One of the best offensive moves I've seen from Oden thus far this season. Getting back to Phoenix, they have all got to get on the same page, and that's not where they are right now.
Here is Hill for three, and both clubs are on fire here at the Star.
Yeah, a rare three-pointer by Grant Hill, not really known for his three-point shooting, but when they're going to rotate like that, you've got to be able to take a wide-open shot.
Well, Blake beat Nash off the dribble, comes back to Roy, and he knocks down a three. So the Blazers 5 for their first 6, and the Suns have hit 3 of 5. They double up on Nash. There's the entry pass to O'Neal off the double. Good job by the Blazers. And last touch by Shaquille O'Neal.
In years past, when Shaq would get the ball down that low, you remember he used to gather himself, wait for the contact, and take you up with him. That is a little bit that is lost in Shaquille O'Neal's game over the years.
Stoudemire nearly picked it off. Sloppy sequence for the Blazers. Here comes Nash. Oh, beautifully done. Nash with the shovel pass to Hill.
Now, I don't know if that was communication, Grant Hill talking to Nash, or just the other set of eyes behind Nash's head, but he knew right where he was the entire way down the floor that he had someone trailing to his left.
Eyes behind, I didn't realize that.
I'm going to go with the eyes behind his head.
Here is Roy. Rebound is handled by Stoudemire. The game is tied at 11. Nash fires for 3. Rebounded by O'Neal. Try to stuff it, hits the deck, and he is fouled.
Now this is when we come down the floor and you see Nash, you think he doesn't know that there's somebody on his left. Now whether Hill was communicating from his left-hand side, talking to him the entire time, saying trailer left, either way, Steve Nash knows the entire floor and exactly where the other 4 players are on his team.
Foul was picked up by Oden. That's his second, and he will head to the bench. Joel Przybilla has done a very good job, first as the starter with Oden sidelined by injury, and as the backup center. So here comes Przybilla.
I'll ask you a question. Is Joe Przybilla the best backup center in the NBA? Because his numbers are certainly impressive.
Absolutely, and you got to understand, there's history here too between Przybilla and Shaquille O'Neal. These guys really don't like one another. Now you look at that field goal percentage, almost 80%. He's not taking a lot of shots, but he's definitely making them.
And Shaq has been hitting his free throws as of late. Joe Przybilla in the blowout of Sacramento here on Tuesday night. Had a good ball game, 14 rebounds, 3 blocked shots in 22 minutes. And you can see Shaq stepping away. He knows Przybilla not going to shoot from the perimeter. Only 4 minutes gone by. Here is Blake. And it's handled by Stoudemire. Nash pulling it back on Blake. Uses the pick from Stoudemire. Looking for mismatches. Shot clock down to 7. Stoudemire with a beautiful pass. It counts in the foul. Shaquille O'Neal with the bucket and heads back to the line.
If you start with the 24-second clock at around 5, it's really an incredible little series there. There's the 5, 4, 3, the interior pass at the end. You got a lob to an interior pass. Blake tries to commit the foul before he goes up, but it's too late.
O'Neal is 2 of 3 at the line. It is deflected out, last touch by the Blazers.
Extra opportunity there when you know Shaq is shooting free throws. You've got to be able to get hungry and you get another possession.
Nash met by the double. You see Przybilla coming over to help. Nash not able to hit on the fadeaway. And here are the Blazers back to the offense. Record of 16-10. They had lost 3 in a row before the win over Sacramento the other night. Aldridge goes to the fadeaway. Oh, nice play, but Batum could not hit at a foul.
Reggie, you mentioned Przbilla's shooting percentage of almost 80%, 79%. But how about that he's averaging 8 rebounds a game? He has 9 more blocked shots coming off the bench, basically, than their starter, Greg Oden, does. This guy's done a heck of a job coming off the bench.
Foul committed by Grant Hill. So Przybilla to the free throw line. During the course of his career, he's been around 70%. A reminder, national television coverage of the NBA continues Friday on ESPN. It's the Lakers at Miami, followed by Cleveland at Denver, starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And then Tuesday on NBA TV Fan Night, the Red Hot Lakers play the Hornets in New Orleans. Coverage starting 7 o'clock Eastern with NBA Game Time Live. 5 minutes gone by in this first quarter. Nash for O'Neal. On Shaq off to the good start. He has 8 points. The Suns up 16-11.
This is the best I've seen Shaq look in a while. When he gets time off and he gets rest, especially in those legs, it's tough.
And here is Roy with the smooth shot. 29 points the other night. Spent a lot of time at the line. It was 15 of 15. And as Shaq gets inside, he's called for the 3-second violation. You mentioned the rest that Shaq received this week. The last time Phoenix played was Monday night, that victory over the Knicks. And you see the numbers, 6 up, 2 down, when Shaquille has 2 or more days off.
Well, Shaq 35 points against the Milwaukee Bucks. I believe 21 the other night against Orlando. So they're starting to incorporate him in the offense a little bit more. He said, New York against the Knicks.
Nash pulls it back against Blake. Looks like Shaq will take a seat in a moment as Robin Lopez is off the bench. Off the steal. Here's Blake on a breakaway. Nash right back. Gets it down low. Will not count. Apparently Hill came from out of bounds.
You saw that last lob pass by Nash, which wound up being a turnover. Right now, last in the league in turnovers. Brandon Roy coming off the screen by Prisbilla. Shaq too late, coming out.
Welcome back to Portland. Phoenix is up by 1. The addition of Jason Richardson has once again altered the identity of the Phoenix Suns. However, I talked to General Manager Steve Kerr tonight, and he feels it has raised the talent level necessary to win an NBA championship. He said right now it's a 3-team league with the Lakers, Boston, and Cleveland, but he feels his team has room for improvement and that they will get better as the season goes on. Shaquille O'Neal, who has 4 NBA titles, 1 less than Kerr, agrees with his GM. Shaq says we will run at every opportunity. When that's not there, just throw the ball to me in the half court and I'll pound him. He says it is not a conflict of styles, but styles that complement each other. And so far, Shaq off to a good start with 8 points.
And Craig, there's been so much discussion about the departure of head coach Mike D'Antoni, now head coach of the New York Knicks, about last year's deal for Shaquille O'Neal. In fact, as to whether they can play 2 different styles as Richardson is able to score on the break. And Steve Kerr's point of view is, although the Suns under D'Antoni were very successful during the regular season, they fell short in the postseason, particularly the last 2 years, winning only 1 playoff series the last 2 seasons. Steve saying that, we weren't exactly the 1927 Yankees. Steve dating himself, although I know he was always a very big fan of Miller Huggins.
Well, you look at the history of Steve Kerr and where he's been and won championships as you look at the offense of the Phoenix Suns. In Chicago, they weren't a big running team. They were methodical, getting the ball to Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, and especially when he was with the San Antonio Spurs, they would run at certain opportunities, but the main focus was to get the ball to Tim Duncan and have him distribute to Manu and Tony Parker. So he's kind of trying to mold these Phoenix Suns into that, but allowing Steve Nash to still be Steve Nash in the open court.
That defensive 3-second call led to the technical foul shot. Here is Roy from out deep and rebounded by Stoudemire. As we mentioned, Robin Lopez has come on for Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq got off to the good start. Just under 5 remaining in this first half. And the baseline official, Monty McCutcheon, says defensive 3 the other way.
I think one case study that comes to mind, can the Phoenix Suns find a balance of slow basketball and running basketball? I think you have to go to the 80s and Showtime with the Lakers when Magic Johnson and the Lakers were on the uprise. Kareem was kind of on his downslope. They still found ways to run and be exciting in the open court. And when nothing was there, the cap would come down in the middle and they throw the ball down low.
The numbers that you referred to before, this is offense. Look at everything down this season. You know what's interesting? One thing, turnovers are up for them. They were like middle of the league last year. They're dead last this year in total turnovers per game.
And Richardson knocks down another 3. The trade pulled off earlier in the week. The Suns acquiring Jason Richardson plus second-year forward Jared Dudley, a second-round draft pick in 2010, all coming from the Charlotte Bobcats. Beautiful pass, Roy for Chris Billups, with Boris Diaw, Raja Bell, and the rookie Sean Singletary going to the Bobcats. And at first, Steve Nash was taken aback by the deal. He was a very close friend of Raja Bell. He looked around and he said, you know, I'm the guy who feels like I was traded. A lot of new faces.
Well, Steve Nash is sounding like a jilted lover. I mean, did he send those guys some flowers in a box of chocolates? Come on, it's part of the business. You've got to be able to grow up and move on. And you've got to incorporate Jason Richardson into your team.
Second field goal for LaMarcus Aldridge. So the Suns up by 2 with 3.5 remaining in this opening quarter. Richardson to the fadeaway. Rebounded by Lopez. Rejected by Chris Billups. And last touch by the Suns.
What a rejection. Lopez just about ready to dunk the basketball. Prisbilla goes after it right at the rim and has a clean block on it. Here's the dunk coming. No, it's not. Not with Prisbilla there.
And that's the problem, Coach. I think he was going to lay it in. And as a rookie, especially a rookie big man, you've got to try and dunk everything in this league. I think if he would have tried to go up there and tried to bring the rim down, he might have got the foul.
They're resetting the shot clock. Travis Outlaw has come on now for Portland as Blake moves it across. Steve Blake has had an outstanding start to the season. He and Roy at the guards. Prisbilla with Aldridge and Outlaw up front. Here's Outlaw for 3. Oh, and the follow. It's LaMarcus Aldridge.
Remember, Aldridge was outside the three-point line when they started to swing the ball, so he crashed from behind the three-point line to get the second shot opportunity.
Good job by Aldridge stepping to the path of Nash. Here's Hill, got the step, sets it up for Lopez. The rookie Robin Lopez off the mark and a foul. Loose ball foul on the Blazers. It is on Prisbilla.
Second best offensive rebounding team in the NBA, the Portland Trail Blazers. There's LaMarcus Aldridge coming from behind the line.
All right, it's time now for tonight's Sonics Grader. And here's the czar of the tennis grader, Mike Fratello.
Let's go back and look at a defensive breakdown by the Suns. Portland getting ready to run a pick and roll, high pick and roll in the middle of the floor. Defensive players, Grant Hill on one hand and Robin Lopez on the other hand. As the pick and roll starts to take place, you'll notice that Grant Hill elects to go underneath the offensive man as Lopez steps out to try and stop the ball. But it's Brook Lopez who wipes his own man out. He wipes out Grant Hill on the recovery. No communication, breakdown. There's the easy score for Portland.
Game is tied at 22. Matt Barnes has come on for Phoenix. Sergio Rodriguez checked in for the first time for the Blazers. This the second of our TNT doubleheader earlier tonight. The Magic knocked off the Spurs 90-78. Oh, strong move by Stoudemire going right at Prisbilla.
You cannot let a guy go middle without help coming down from the top.
Reggie, that's the same thing Robin Lopez was going to do. Stoudemire just did a little bit better, would you say?
Wow. And for Amari, that's his first field goal. Roy tried to pull it back. Beautiful second effort, and he is fouled. Nice move by Brandon Roy.
And you see the quick move here by Stoudemire. Prisbilla, he's expecting help to come down from the top, but it doesn't. 1 or 2 dribbles in, and look at the extension by Stoudemire.
Foul is on Brook Lopez. Here's Brandon Roy in his 3rd year out of University of Washington. Plays with great poise. Last year averaged 19 points, 6 assists. We saw Brandon early this season come up with some big shots down the stretch, and then in overtime here on TNT to defeat the Houston Rockets in dramatic fashion. How about the Blazers? They play 16 of their first 24 games on the road, and they are 8 up and 8 down on the road. Well, an illegal screen was called.
Out of bounds. You can extend your body out of bounds to try to set a screen to free the offensive player.
And no foul, no personal foul charge. Just under 2 minutes remaining in this opening quarter. Roy off the spin, rebounded by Richardson. Stoudemire. And Outlaw able to get to it. Here at home, the Blazers have won 8 of 10. They have a long home stretch coming up. Aldridge. Oh, that's an impressive move.
You know, when he can shoot with his back to the basket like that, there's really no defense in him right there. Nice little jump hook over that left shoulder.
As Nate McMillan was telling us earlier, he came into the league as a defensive player, and he's come a long way offensively. There's Lopez. Robin Lopez, the brother of the Nets' Brook Lopez, both out of Stanford. Brook has worked his way into the starting lineup. Lopez defending on Aldridge. And again, shows that outside touch.
Well, if he's going to guard LaMarcus Aldridge, first of all, he has to be in the proper defensive stance. He has his wrong feet up as he's trying to guard him. And you've got to extend your hand up.
Rodriguez finding Aldridge, rejected by Stoudemire.
There's been some plays tonight.
Richardson, oh, gorgeous twisting move by Richardson.
First, a change of pace. Just when he got below the foul line, he started to straighten up, a little hesitation, then just turned the corner and exploded to the basket.
Jason Richardson with 10 points. 3-second differential between the game clock and shot clock as this first quarter closes down. How about Brandon Roy? Yes! And it counts!
In the middle of the floor, flatten everyone out. You see 4 orange shirts collapsing around him. His ability, and he loves using his left hand, his great ability to finish with his left hand, and now possibly a three-point play.
And he has worked on that left hand in recent years. The foul committed by Stoudemire. Three-point play for Roy. 9 seconds remaining in the quarter. See pressure from Rodriguez on Nash. Down to 3, down to 2. Nash. And that's the end of the first quarter. Here in Portland, the Blazers have a 31-28 lead on the Suns. Brandon Roy with 11, LaMarcus Aldridge with 10, and Jason Richardson with 10 points. When we come back, Craig will talk with that man, Terry Porter. Back in Portland, the NBA on TNT is presented by the United States Marine Corps. Moments ago, Craig Sager caught up with Suns head coach Terry Porter.
Well, Coach, this is just the third game you've had Jason Richardson since the trade. How have you tried to incorporate him into the game plan?
Well, we've tried to just kind of let him play off the other guys. We've given him some ISOs at times, just things he's accustomed to. You know, he's going to have a luxury of playing with, 2 or 3 guys that's really causes double teams. Going to give him a chance to get some wide open threes, and he's going to get out in open court like he did earlier, and he's going to get the ball to him, and he's going to have a chance to attack then.
Whenever we talk to you, you always mention defense first. Your team just gave up a 31-point quarter. What are you going to tell them to do better defensively?
Rebound. We've done some good jobs as far as stopping them on the initial part, but we haven't closed out those possessions, letting those guys get some extra offensive rebounds, and we got to do a better job with that.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right.
Well, we hear Terry Porter talking about rebound. The Suns, 29th, next to last in the league in offensive rebound margin, meaning the difference between how many offensive rebounds they get versus their opponents. They're -3 a game, whereas Portland, #1 in the league in that area.
Andrew Barbosa has come on for Steve Nash. Barbosa with the step and able to extend to get it up over Chris Miller. And the Blazers going with the Spanish connection backcourt. Rudy Fernandez now and Sergio Rodriguez. Rudy Fernandez has been a very exciting player for the Blazers. Ike Diogo is also checked in. That's Diogo with it. And here's Fernandez. He goes to the step back, came up short on the 3 and rebounded by Stoudemire. Just underway in the second quarter. Marv Albert, Lazar, Mike Fratello, Reggie Miller, Craig Sager. We are at the Rose Garden in Portland, Oregon. Richardson has to give it up. Barbosa with the runner. Rebounded by Diogo. Nate McMillan telling us he would go with Diogo in front of Channing Frye tonight. Rodriguez able to curl in. Diogo. And he is fouled.
A nice move there by Rodriguez. He gets into the lane, draws 3 orange jerseys. Doggy does a good job of rolling down, almost finishing that play.
Foul committed by Lopez. Here's Shaquille O'Neal, who played very well in the first quarter, coming on for Robin Lopez. And let's see how Nate McMillan plays it with Greg Oden, who picked up 2 fouls, although Oden hit all 3 of his shots. O'Neal with 8 points, 3 of 5 from the field.
I get the feeling Terry Porter is trying to get Jason Richardson into proper conditioning. He's played 13.5 straight minutes now. He's not taking him out. He's going good. Let it keep going.
So what are you trying to say? That Larry Brown, his former boss, he wasn't in proper game shape during the trade? Is that what you're saying?
Different tempo, different style of play altogether.
I didn't think coaches win at coaches like that.
And of course, Jason loves this tempo. He played it as a member of the Golden State Warriors and did thrive at it. Here's Richardson spinning. Good box out by Diogo.
See, if he was more well-rested, he wouldn't have missed that one right there.
Outlaw puts a move on Richardson. Oh, the steal by Barbosa. Rodriguez looks to cut him off. Barbosa with the steal and the bucket.
This could be some defensive unit where you have Richardson out there with Barbosa's quickness and length, and then Barnes has some toughness about him. You got Amari and Shaq to protect the basket. This could be an interesting unit down the road for Phoenix.
Here is Fernandez for 3. Rudy Fernandez, first-round draft pick 2 years ago, decided to remain in Spain. He was actually drafted by the Suns and then traded to the Blazers. Stoudemire shaking off the defender and draws the foul. And a very strong move by Amari Stoudemire. Travis Outlaw picks it up. So Amari to the free throw line. Hey, TNT Tuesdays. Get ready to get even from TNT. And the producer of Independence Day comes the daring new TNT series, Leverage. You can catch all new episodes every Tuesday at 10/9 Central. Only on TNT. We know drama.
Coach, let me ask you a question. What kind of balancing act does Coach Terry Porter have to do when you've been hearing Stoudemire wants more touches, Shaq wants more touches, you bring in Jason Richardson, and Steve Nash says he's been unhappy with the offense. What kind of balancing act do you have to do?
You simply win games, and all of a sudden it goes away, Reg. Few wins.
Stoudemire changed that shot attempt. Diogo, then Chris Miller with opportunities. Nice save. Diogo could not hit. What a play by Fernandez, and Barbosa with the bucket. It counts as he went glass and the foul.
Missed opportunity layups by the Blazers results in a potential 3-point play by Barbosa, putting the pressure on Rodriguez, using the glass, going to the line. Suns up by 1.
If they come to him, so be ready to help. Switch this! Switch it! Hey!
All right, keep playing hard. They're going to wear it down.
Yep.
And what you want in your big men is communication. And Aldridge is doing a good job of communicating that with Brisbilla, telling them, you know, keep communicating, switch, talk. And then Brandon Roy coming in and saying, keep playing hard. They'll wear it down. And when you got a young team, that's the hardest thing to teach is communication, especially on the defensive end.
Leandro Barbosa looking for a 7th point. All have come here in this second quarter. 6 of the 7 on the fast break.
When you look out on the floor, this is a true second unit for Portland. And they're going against the zone right now that Phoenix went to. But all 5 players on the floor for Portland are players that come off the bench or reserves. No starters out there. Shows you the great depth this young team has.
And here's Fernandez for 3. 3 Blazers to the boards. And a foul. Brisbilla hit by O'Neal, and the Blazers with one of the better second units in the NBA. That's the second foul committed by Shaq, so that'll put Brisbilla at the line. Joel Brisbilla in his 9th season out of the University of Minnesota, 5th year with Portland, after spending time with Milwaukee and Atlanta. Reggie, you mentioned that he is 79% from the field. Obviously, everything is in close, but our staff looked up what the record is in terms of best field goal percentage of the history of the NBA. Well, Wilt Chamberlain, back in the 72-73 season, finished with 73%. Also, almost everything in close. Wilt at the time wearing down. That was his final season.
Yeah, I believe he only averaged 7 or 8 field goal attempts.
Here's Barnes for 3. Matt Barnes from downtown. So the Suns with their 4th three-pointer, 4 of 6 from beyond that three-point line, and they now lead it by 4. Rodriguez with a beautiful move. Clear path. Shaq did not want to pick up a foul. And it's Shaq with the save. I thought he had it. Try to tightrope along that baseline. Some nifty moves by Shaq, but he stepped down.
Dancing with the Stars next year for Shaq. You see him on the baseline. He wants to get back in before he grabs the ball. Referee says, no, no, no.
Tony Brown right on the scene said, nope. Brandon Roy is back. And as he inbounds, apparently they had to reset the shot clock, and now they make a change. Fernandez will throw in. Diago played well.
No one was guarding Diago, and the crowd was yelling, shoot it. That was on purpose by Phoenix. They didn't want to guard him out there.
Lewis Amundsen, who just came on, able to hold down that rebound. Barbosa with the feed, and Shaq had position, and Diago with the right move just grabbed him.
Diago knew it. You know, Shaq, too big, too strong. When you're running down the center of the floor with Shaquille O'Neal, as you mentioned earlier, Coach, you've got to meet him early, because if you don't meet him early, he's going to establish position right underneath the rim. Is it just me, or has Oden been out extremely long? We know he has 2 fouls as Fernandez comes up with the steal.
Here's the lead off the mark, intended for Roy. Try to lob it. Steve Blake will check in, and he replaces Sergio Rodriguez. The Suns with O'Neal, Amundsen, and Hill up front. Barnes and Barbosa are at the guards. 5 minutes gone by in the second quarter. It has been action-packed here at the Rose Garden. Barnes again from downtown.
This is one of the things that Steve Kerr, the general manager for the Suns, felt now by picking up Richardson. It gives him one more weapon from behind the three-point line. So you have Barbosa, you have Barnes from the three-point line, you have Nash from the three-point line, Richardson from the three-point line, all guys that can make threes on a regular basis to open up the inside for Shaq and Stoudemire.
It's an 11-1 run for Phoenix. Roy right back. Brandon Roy. He has 13 points. 43-38 Phoenix. Barnes sets his feet and shoots. Yes! That's 3 in a row from Matt Barnes from downtown. Here's Roy quickly to the front court and gives it back. Fernandez and Blake in the backcourt with Diago up front. Actually a 3-guard set with Roy out there. Here's Fernandez off balance. One-handed by Barbosa.
You don't realize until you're the opposing coach how quickly the three-point shot changes your mentality and what you're doing on the court defensively.
Oh, nice pass. Barnes for Barbosa. Beautiful backdoor pass on the hop, and the Suns have surged in front by 10. It's their biggest lead. Nate McMillan wants to talk it over. Timeout, Portland.
Well, now coming off the bench rather than starting, Barnes starts out by coming along the baseline off screens. He winds up hitting 3 straight threes.
Spotted up like he would try. The basket goes and the foul. 6 seconds left. KJ the pull-up jumper. It goes! We may be going to overtime number 3. 2.4 seconds will decide it. Marley for the win. Oh, he doesn't get it. Portland goes up 3 games to 1.
Ron Perlin with the call. Game 4 of the Western Conference semis back in 1992. Portland won that series 4 games to 1. Made it to the NBA Finals before losing to the Chicago Bulls. Turner Sports in the NBA 25 years and counting. Brandon Roy with 15 points. And Suns head coach Terry Porter, who had an outstanding 10-year career here with Portland, scored 31 points for the Blazers in that game. Terry Porter receiving an enormous ovation when he was introduced right at the start of the game, and Shaquille O'Neal with 10 points. Shaq 4 of 6 from the field for his 10. It has been a 3-point barrage for the Suns, led by Matt Barnes. And a 3 for Steve Blake. Barnes and Barbosa have combined for 18 points in this quarter. Beautiful block by Oden coming over. Now Barnes challenged Oden, and that's number 3 on the rookie center.
Oden went out at the 4-minute mark of that first quarter. His first action since coming back, picking up those 2 fouls. And what did he do? Picks up his 3rd. Easy decision here by Nate McMillan. That's the second shot opportunity. Barnes does the good job of going straight at his body.
And Barnes and Barbosa have combined for 19 of the Suns' 23 points in the second quarter. So Oden will sit down, has not been able to stay on the court. He has hit all 3 of his shots, but that's foul number 3, and back comes Joel Frisbilla. (52-43) Phoenix.
18-9 advantage from the three-point line in favor of Phoenix right now.
They've hit 6 of 8 from three-point line. And Blake once again hit a 3 a moment ago. And that from 2-point range. We're coming up on 4 minutes remaining in this first half. And Neal backing his way on Frisbilla. Deflected out, last touch by the Blazers.
Now, this has somewhat been a blessing how Barbosa's been playing. It's allowed Terry Porter to leave Steve Nash over there on the bench for an extended period of time.
Barbosa lost it. Roy looking for help. Nate McMillan remaining with that 3-guard set. Blake, he's hit his last 3 shots. He has 9 points. Steve Blake in his 6th season out of Maryland, a second go-around with the Blazers, originally a second-round pick of the Wizards. That pass deflected. And the Suns maintain possession. They'll have 13 on the shot clock. Now here's Nash coming on for Barbosa. Good job by Andrew Barbosa.
Is Steve Nash a guy that Terry Porter has to monitor his minutes as we go through the season here, fearing that he gets too many built up on him. Then when they get down the stretch, he doesn't have any gas left.
Well, when we spoke about that, he talked about Nash as well as the big fella, Shaquille O'Neal, kind of monitoring those minutes. They don't want them to exert too much energy early because they don't want them to fade late come March, April, May when the playoffs begin. So they kind of monitor the minutes. Shaq not playing the second of back-to-backs.
Problem is, if you monitor him too much, you may not make the playoffs with a home court advantage, which obviously is very, very important.
And here's Richardson, who just checked in. Well, he's sitting for a few minutes on the bench. Reggie, you can relate to this. He steps on the court and hits a three.
Shooters shoot. They stay ready. Their gun is always cocked.
He is 5 of 8, 13 points. Here's Blake for three. And he is on fire.
I didn't know we were watching the Golden State Warriors and the New York Knicks. There was supposed to be some defense played here between these two teams.
The Suns up by 5. They've led by as many as 10. Blake with the steal. Roy with Nash back. Yes. Shaq with the Suns getting it down in a hurry. It has been fast-paced basketball right from the opening tip. 57-52 Phoenix. Blake, and that will not count. It's waved off. A foul was called away from the ball on Chris Billups.
Well, here's the new philosophy, Shaq. Just stay down the other end. We'll get it to you. Finish it off with a dunk every time.
It's a big adjustment. I think as far as just getting settled into the new city, knowing where to go, where to live at, who to call, stuff like that. But as far as the team, I think I've dressed in pretty well, fitting in pretty well. It's the style of game that I like to play, the up-tempo, and we can slow down, play half court. So I think that part of the basketball has been pretty good for me.
And Jason Richardson has fit in very well with his new team, the Phoenix Suns. He was the 5th overall pick back in 2001. By the Golden State Warriors. He's been averaging just under 19 a game, 46% from downtown, a 2-time dunk contest winner at All-Star Weekend. At Golden State, he was team captain, playing in their up-tempo style, along with Matt Barnes, a teammate of Jason with the Warriors. Here's Stoudemire on a runner, rebounded by O'Neal with the spin, banks it home. And a foul is called. The basket will count, and the foul away from the ball.
Foul's on Stoudemire, but I have to say, that is vintage Shaquille O'Neal. Second shot opportunity right here. Look at this. Normally he would turn back into traffic right there. Kind of fades away. Nice touch off the glass.
Yes, that was a flashback move by Shaq. He's had the lively legs here tonight. 6 of 9 from the field. 14 points. He went right at Greg Oden at the start. Oden now sitting down after picking up a third foul. There's a catch and shoot by Roy for 3. Suns in possession, up by 7, just under 2 minutes remaining in this first half. Nash had the lane closed, played on a switch here by Aldridge. Shot clock to 7. Down to 3. 2, Stoudemire, and he draws the foul. He got bailed out. The Suns headed to a 24-second violation. The foul on Roy. And right here, let's go to our Atlanta studios. We'll check in with Ernie Johnson.
And we're just a few minutes away from the T-Mobile halftime report, where you'll get first-half analysis from Kenny Charles and C. Webb, have highlights of the Spurs and Magic, and on Inside the NBA, John Thompson talks to Derek Coleman, who is rebuilding his old Detroit neighborhood. Now we blaze a trail back to Portland, so to say. Marv.
Very nice, Ernie. As Amari Stoudemire fouled on the act, and that put the Blazers over the limit. Portland has allowed in a first half this season. Phoenix with 61 on the scoreboard. Blake And a loose ball foul. It's a non-shooting foul for the Suns, their 4th team foul. And it's on Stoudemire. That's his 3rd.
And Phoenix, last 2 possessions down the floor, has gone zone to try and get Portland out of their rhythm offensively. It's resulted in 2 missed shots, but on that one, on the rebound opportunity, Stoudemire picks up number 3.
And Amar'e sits down 6 points, 6 rebounds, replaced by Louis Amundsen in his 3rd year out of UNLV, former member of the 76ers. Nice ball movement. Fernandez. Oh, beautiful stroke. You can see the follow-through as he knocks down the 3 from a tough angle.
And that's a nice look by Przybilla, understanding that he had a wide-open shooter in the corner.
Final minute, first half. Amundsen lost it. Shot diving on the floor. Roy ahead of the field. And puts it down. 61-55, Phoenix. Both clubs shooting well. The Suns at 55%. The Blazers 50% for the field. Here's Nash. He got the step. Nice move by Steve Nash. And that is his first field goal. He does have 7 assists. There is a 4-second differential between the game clock and shot clock. Blake setting it up. See Roy setting a screen. Shot clock down to 3. As Roy makes his move, he was fouled. Blocked by Nash.
See, Portland got exactly what they wanted. They got the switch so that Nash wound up on Roy once again. On that one, Richardson should have stayed rather than put the pressure on Steve Nash to have to guard him in that spot. And it's exactly what Portland wanted. Nash to wind up guarding Roy.
Brandon Roy, an excellent free throw shooter at 84%.
Here's where the switch takes place. Now Nash winds up on Roy, and that's it. Roy's too big, too strong. He goes right at him, backs him down, gets inside below the dotted line. He's either going to make it or get fouled and go to the line.
Now Travis Outlaw comes on for Rudy Fernandez. Suns will have 6.5 remaining in this first half. 5-point Phoenix lead, down to 4. And a timeout is taken. So we will step away. 4-point Phoenix lead. We'll be right back. Back in Portland with 6 5/10 seconds to go in this first half. It's been a wild one. Both clubs have shot well, both doing it from beyond the three-point line. It's a 63-59 lead for the Suns, and Matt Barnes will put it in play in the Phoenix backcourt. Here comes Nash. Nash for O'Neal, and the foul. Beautifully done by the Suns. They got that ball up court in a hurry.
And you got to credit Steve Nash as well as Terry Porey for drawing it up. But what kind of out-of-bounds defense is this? Steve Nash just runs into the middle, gets the basketball, takes the contact, and gets it to the Diesel.
Foul committed by Przybilla. And now Nate McMillan takes a timeout with 2.7 left in the half.
What a nice play. Watch what Steve Nash does, okay? To start out with, as the ball is out of bounds, stop right there. Here's the pocket that's going to be open right in here. So what Nash is going to do is run a little curl move and have the defender on his back as he goes up the court. The defender needs to beat him to the spot, not trail him. The pass goes inside him. Now he's got a head start with the defender behind him, and it's a matter of numbers right now. Shaq's just got to step in. Once he freezes the last defender, here comes the chance now for the finish and three-point play.
But, Coach, LaMarcus Aldridge should have been double-teaming Steve Nash. It looked like he had his back to the basket, but what was he doing there? He wasn't doing anything.
He was the pressure on the ball guy to stop any long pass towards half court. I think that was the intention of it.
Pressure on the ball with his back to the ball. Okay, got it.
And now Shaq to the line.
I honestly didn't see his back to the ball, being honest.
Make it 3 of 5 at the line of three-point play. And here is Rodriguez just firing one. So that's the end of the first half. The Suns up by 7. Shaquille O'Neal with a very productive half. 17 points, 7 of 10 from the field. The newest Phoenix Sun, Jason Richardson, 13 points. He's hit 5 of 8. Matt Barnes, 3 of 3 from downtown with 11 points in all. Brandon Roy leads Portland with 21. Let's go to Craig and Matt Barnes.
Well, Matt, you're a starter for most of the season, but now coming off the bench, very effective again. 3 for 3 from the three-point range. How'd you get so open?
You know, they ran a zone against us, and we have 2 big screeners, so it's not too hard. I just ran off some picks and got a couple good looks. So, you know, I got to owe that to my teammates.
You obviously have the one player who has played with Jason Richardson in Golden State. What was your reaction when the Suns traded for him?
It's always tough to lose teammates in Boris and Raja and Sean Singletary, but I love Jay Rich. You know, I was very excited to get him, and I know he's definitely going to help our team this year.
All right, thanks a lot. We'll take a break now. We'll come back with the T-Mobile Halftime Report. EJ, Kenny, Charles, and Chris Webber in our studios in Atlanta.
Welcome back to Portland, Oregon. A look at downtown as we are at the Rose Garden. Tonight's HD aerials being presented by Turbo HD by Dish Network. The Suns with a 66-59 lead over the Trailblazers. Marv Albert, Reggie Miller, the czar, Mike Fratello, and a sizzling first half for Phoenix. They shoot 57% from the field, 7 of 9 from beyond that three-point line, and Matt Barnes hitting 3 out of 3 from that three-point area.
It must be the UCLA genes in Matt Barnes getting it done.
I did not think of that.
That's what it is. It's the UCLA genes, and you know this is something that he's really developed in his game. Matt Barnes coming off screens, lacing it down, and you see right here, this is the remix. This is a different play, ladies and gentlemen. Coming off the down screen and then running the floor, spotting up, 3-ball corner pocket, showing the emotion.
On the other end, the guy who's had a little bit to do with the early success is Brandon Roy, who's done it in a number of different ways. He's fast enough to get out and convert in the open floor. He has the soft touch on the jump shot, and he has the ability to switch hands, finish with the left hand, and go to the line where he's 6 for 6, part of his 21 points in the first half.
And a look at the statistics overall. I mentioned 57% shooting for the Suns. Not bad. 49 for Portland. They've hit 5 from beyond that three-point line. Phoenix out rebounding Portland. See the fast break points. Phoenix bench has done the job against one of the best benches in the NBA in the Trailblazers.
Well, the Trailblazers second in bench points, 36 a game. And it's really surprising because you look at the Phoenix bench and you're wondering where points are going to come from other than Leandro Barbosa. Matt Barnes comes huge in that first half, knocking down those threes, 11 points.
And the Suns outscore the Blazers 38-28 in the second quarter. Let's go over to Craig Sager. Craig.
Well, Nate McMillan saw far too many points coming Phoenix's way. He said our defense was not good at all. He says we have to mix it up. Our transition defense was probably the worst it's been all year. We asked to collapse on Shaq. He said it's very disappointing in Greg Oden's third foul. He only played less than 5 minutes in the game. He has to get better position. He said defensively we have to play much better than this.
All right, Craig. Suns have won the last 11 against the Blazers, including 2 this season. Amari Stoudemire opens up the second half, 8 points for Stoudemire. The last time Portland beat Phoenix, March 12th, 2006. Aldridge starting out on the block, moving on Stoudemire and score. He is so effortless at the offensive end. He now has 12 points. He's 6 of 8 from the floor.
Stoudemire doesn't want to foul him and pick up his 4th foul, so he's going to be able to get any shot he wants down low.
And here's Stoudemire going right at Aldridge, draws the foul. It is a hack on LaMarcus.
And Stoudemire, who was relatively quiet in the first half, just 5 field goal attempts, 1 for 5. You see 2 times in a row now they come out starting the second half and give him the ball directly. They're trying to get Amari involved in the offense now so he can pick up some of the scoring load in case Shaq should happen to, dwindle a little bit from the 17-point first half that he had.
Outstanding half for Shaquille O'Neal, 7 of 10 for those 17 points. Shaq up front with Stoudemire and Hill, Nash and Richardson in the backcourt. 70-61 Phoenix. Suns trying to make it 3 straight wins. Portland at 16-10. They come off a win over the Kings the other night that stopped a 3-game losing streak. They had lost 4 of 5. Nash being played by Blake. A battle down low, and foul is called on Aldridge getting involved with Stoudemire.
Well, back-to-back fouls by LaMarcus Aldridge, and Stoudemire doing a good job trying to establish himself down low early, Coach, putting the foul trouble on LaMarcus.
Coach has no response.
I'm watching it develop down here right now. I'm watching it develop. I want to make sure his back isn't to the basket this time.
This is television. There's audio involved. All right, here comes Blake. And he pulls it up. Open jumper. Steve Blake. He had the hot hand in the first half. 14 points for Blake.
Although Roy was the guy who had 21, you might credit Blake when he hit those 3 in a row for getting Portland right back into the game again.
Suns up by 7. Action-packed first half. A host of terrific plays at the offensive end. Off the steal, here's Blake. Nash with the recovery, and they have to reset. Aldridge. And again, Stoudemire a little shy in trying to stop that attempt by Aldridge.
One other thing I think it tells you about LaMarcus Aldridge is they switch almost every